right. So today is like a normal Thursday for us practice-wise, and we're kind of cranking this thing down. Once you get to Thursday, that game's in sight there. So we get through today, that'll be good. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Coach Neil Reynolds from Sky Sports in the UK.
Yes.
I've got a question about a very specific part of Sunday. When the players run out of the tunnel for the biggest game of their lives, there's suddenly 20 minutes until kickoff. Do you leave them to themselves? Do you prepare them for that? How do you manage that situation, and does experience help?
Experience does help, but we cover that, yes. We ask them to get off their feet, kind of pump the brakes a little bit, and relax so they don't use all their energy during that time. And then with 5 minutes left to get back up and get moving. So, yeah, we have a game plan for that. Doesn't always work because the guys' juices are going, but that's what we try to do. Yep.
Andy, over here.
All right, Adam.
Morning. In a situation like this, what things do you look at to tell you your team is ready, or in the other case, maybe not ready? What kind of things do you look at to gauge that?
Yeah, so you can tell we've been around these guys for how many ever months here, and you get a pretty good sense on the energy level at practice, in meetings, the attention in meetings, the accuracy of running the actual play, and I'd probably say those are the primary ingredients. And it doesn't, success and failure in a game doesn't always depend on whether I think they're ready or not ready. There have been times when I go on, the biorhythms look a little down and they go play like crazy, so, but normally that's, if they're focused in with those things I gave you there, that normally they're ready to go.
Coach, right here.
Hey, Andy, Ricardo Lopez from Mundo NFL. What do you think about your legacy as a play caller? I mean, you developed PATRICK MAHOMES, you helped to turn Travis Kelce in the best tight end probably in the history, and you create a perfect offensive machine. What do you think about your legacy?
Yeah, listen, I've been blessed in my career to have a lot of great players, and so they make your plays look good. They execute very well. As far as the legacy goes, I don't really think about that. We're so tied up into the game and getting ready for the game that's where all your energy goes. And the neat thing about football is very humbling. So, within a game, you're going to have these highs and lows. What you think is a great play might not end up being a great play. So the game can pick you up and it can slap you in the face at the same time. It's a very humbling game that way.
Andy, to your right. Sorry if you've been asked this week, but obviously with last year's game, the field was very slick for both teams. Can you just talk about any preparations you guys have made for that this year, just in case? Have you talked about it with the guys?
Yeah. Well, we all saw the field when we drove over to the stadium the other night. So they've got the field outside, getting ready, and they'll get it wheeled back inside. From what I gather, it's in great condition. I think last year's was a fluke, but our equipment guy's ready for everything. He brings the whole house with him, so we've got every shoe you can imagine for whatever presents itself there.
Coach, back here at the back.
Yep, gotcha.
I'm sorry to interrupt you talking about the game. That's a big thing I know. But this weekend they're voting for the Hall of Fame. There's a guy that kind of helped resurrect Chiefs football that we all care about in Kansas City, Marty Schottenheimer. What do you think about whether he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, if I was a voter, I'd vote for him. Big time fan of Marty's. He was a great motivator and great guy, great motivator, very tough but very caring of his players, and obviously had a great mind for football. So those primary ingredients, and he won. So with multiple teams. So it's all the things that supposedly qualify you for the Hall of Fame. I think he has those. Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Looking at when you played the 49ers 4 years ago, where do you think you've developed or changed the most as a head coach?
It hasn't been that long ago, so I don't think much. I think it's the same philosophy, other than the game changes a little bit different every year, so you kind of go along with it and what the league gives you rule-wise and things you can do in training camp. Those change you a bit because of most of them because of safety purposes and so on. So, but the philosophy, general philosophies remain the same. Yeah.
Coach Jose Villalba from Millennium Multimedias in Mexico. Two questions. I don't know if any in the Chiefs have thought about this. Super Bowl 58, and when I think number 58, I think of the late great Derek Thomas, and because of what he meant to the Chiefs and Marty Schottenheimer, his coach, that legacy from that. And second, in Philadelphia, you had a great defensive coordinator in the late great Jim Johnson. Now you have Steve Spagnuolo as a defensive coordinator. How has that helped you to create both with the Eagles and now with the Chiefs? And what similarities, difference, but at the same time that has helped you get so many times to big games?
Yeah. I hadn't thought about the 58 with Derek Thomas, but what a great player he was. When I was at Green Bay, we had a chance to come back and play the Chiefs, and I think he set an NFL sack record that day. I remember Don Beebe running a shallow cross, and he hit Don Beebe so hard he landed in the quarterback's lap, and he was a great one. On the other part, Jim Johnson was a great defensive coordinator. Spaggs had an opportunity to work with him and learn from him. I think some of those things Spaggs has used as his foundation for the defense that he runs now. But he's obviously added his own things to it, which Jim did with his defense. And but I tell you, the base foundation is Jim Johnson's, and then Spaggs is so creative that he's just taking it all different directions from there. And both of them are great coaches in their own right, yeah, and have helped the program, yeah.
Hello, Coach. You were born in Los Angeles, you grew up in California, you were also a coach in San Francisco State in the 80s. It is special for you to face the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, or is it like any other team for you?
Yeah, so I tell you, I have a good friend, Lee Bruno, and we both grew up in Los Angeles, both Ram fans, but he's converted, I didn't. Where are we?
Yeah, here, Coach
Right
Reid,
over here, yeah.
American Football Community Belgium. You're defending champions, but this year you come in as a 3 seed, also as the underdog. Do you feel an underdog, and does that motivate you guys even more?
Yeah, listen, I understand why we're the underdog. I get that. We had some ups and downs during the season. I never feel like an underdog going into a game, but I understand why it's been situated that way, but it is. It's what it is, so.
Andy in the back here, Aaron Ladd, KSH
All right, Aaron.
41.
Yep.
You've been known to have one of these very complex offenses, a big playbook. What's allowed Rashee Rice to hit the ground running and be so successful for you all?
Yeah, I tell you, he's smart. He's used that SMU education and transferred it into football here. So he works hard. He's got a great relationship with the quarterback. So I think those are important things.
Coach back here, Peyton,
Yep,
10,000
gotcha.
takes. So you've had players that have played in the big game, and you've had players that haven't played in this big game. What's sort of your message to those players who haven't played in the Super Bowl to like help maybe calm some of those nerves that they might have?
Yeah, when you get through all of this stuff here, it's a game. And it's faster than most games. It's crazy how in the playoffs, every game's a little faster the higher you go up in the playoffs. So it's fast, but it's still the game. So you're professionals. You're, arguably 1 out of 32 guys at your position in the whole world. So you go play and do your job. Yeah.
Hi, Coach. Danilo Celli for La Perrada, Mexico. Yes. Momentum shifts were key in both championships. How do you handle a momentum shift coming your way in the sideline? How do you get your players ready when you sense a momentum shift on your side? And on the other side, how will you prevent the 49ers to get these moments that they've clearly gotten on the previous games in this playoff run?
Yeah, there are highs and lows in every game. And so you work your way through those. I'm into not being too high or too low, and then figuring out problems. So communication becomes very big on that. What does the player see? What does the coach see? Get together, talk about it, and then come up with a solution. So if you do that and you do it well enough, then you can even out some of the issues that go on. On that other hand, if you do well, let's not get crazy and get caught up in that. Let's make sure that we come back to that next play, focus in, and get ourselves ready for it.
Hi, Coach. Good morning. Federico
Morning.
Rivera from Damebola.
Good seeing you.
Coach, many people remembers that 13 seconds final drive in the divisional against Buffalo 3 years ago. As a head coach, you practice every play in the situation of football, or there are new decisions you have to take in seconds. I mean, you practice, you contemplate every scenario, or in the game plan, or sometimes not.
Yeah, so in training camp, we spent a lot of time on situations. And then just about everyone you can think of that comes up, you touch that during training camp and work on it. And then during the season, you don't have time to do that. So you do hit your 2-minute situations on the field, but then you also try to do it in the classroom and go through the different scenarios that are happening through the league each week, through college football each week. Joe Blameyer does a phenomenal job with that on our staff. And so it gives us an idea mentally where you can't do it all physically, but you can surely get the mental reps in there. For the game. Yeah, there are decisions that have to be made and very quickly at times. Yeah. But hopefully we have that answer and have looked at it somewhere over the last few months. Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Jim Alexander here. You've done this for a long time. You've been to many of these Super Bowls. If you win this Sunday, what are the likelihood that you might consider hanging up and kind of going out on top, or are you set already that you will be back next year?
Yeah, I haven't gone there. I don't think about that. I'm tied up in the game and trying to take care of that. I'm sure somewhere I'll know when that time is. It's not today or won't be Sunday, so yeah.
Andy, you mentioned the up and downs. The players really point to your consistent and steady approach during those moments. Is that something that's always come natural to you? Was there a time where it was different? Do you have moments to yourself where it's different? Just wonder if you could talk about that trait a little bit.
Yeah, I think you try to cover all the situations so that you can, or as many as you can. And the ones you don't cover, hopefully you've narrowed it down to where it fits somewhere in there, or at least as close to something that you've thought about. And then you can remain calm and knock it out and get the results you want. But I would say I've tried to be that way. I haven't changed. Maybe when I had more red hair, or any red hair, I had more of a temper. But in this world, I just try to get it, try to get it done, and I think if I'm going crazy, everybody's going to be going crazy, and then now that fits into that chaos category, and that's not good.
Coach, what has Porter Ellett meant to your coaching staff, and how have you seen him grow as a coach?
Yeah, that's my left-hand man. So he does a great job. He's worked in. He started off as my administrative assistant, and now he's working with the running backs, and he's brilliant. First of all, very, very intelligent. Got a great feel for the game. And he's got a great way with the players. I mean, the players